Alright, going to do a little public service announcement on checking your fuses. You can see I've got a test light right here. It's hooked to ground, so when I touch power, it lights up. So that's about the easiest way to test things like this. You want a newer style test light like this with the little board, LED board inside of there, so it doesn't draw as much. So this is a bladed style fuse that I'm on right here. If you guys notice, both sides light up. That tells me there's power flowing through this fuse. So if it was blown in the middle, and I'll show you an example of that in a minute, you would have one side light up but not the other. If it doesn't have anything lighting up, like neither side lights up, I don't know if I have any like that here or not, that simply means that the circuit's not being powered. And maybe it's supposed to be, and that maybe is your issue, but more than likely the circuit is just not being powered at that time. You might have to turn the lights on or something like that. Now notice these fuses here, you can't do that. So you look down inside of there and you take a look at it, but what you can actually do is pull one out. And the right way to do it is take an ohm meter across these two terminals and make sure it's 0. So you're checking continuity across the terminals, but you can actually look at it. I don't know how well you can see this. You can see whether it's blown or not. So it's got a clear top to it. And these are relays. And I've got a different video about relays, but different styles. This is the micro, this is the mini. And so it is not a fuse. It actually just has a control side that turns on and off. Something will control it and apply power to that device. And we'll talk about in a different video. But these are not fuses. These are the fuses, and there's a bunch of different sizes of these. There's bigger ones or smaller ones. And yes, before somebody says something about could something else be wrong here, you could have a bad connection down inside of here. And sometimes when you're pushing down on this, you don't catch it. So it's actually kind of a better idea to go ahead and pull the fuse out. If you know which fuse you need, which fuse you're having the circuit issue on, you can pull it out and look and make sure your terminals look okay down inside of there. Alright, so we're going to run through a quick checking the fuses scenario. So if you notice, the right front headlight is out. So we're just going to look at the fuses. Now finding the fuse can be difficult, especially on a Ford product or any product that does not have a lid that actually has anything but the numbers on it. So I don't know if you can see that or not. That's just got numbers. So you'll have to get a printout or use basically the owner's manual will have this in it too. But looking at there, you can see I outlined it already. I looked at the wiring diagram first. Right here. That tells me that right there, there's a fuse that powers one side of this headlight. So I'm thinking maybe I should check that fuse. Now if you look at the diagram, it goes through a switch first. Let's have a look at this. So here's the fuse block. Our fuse is right there. If you guys notice, powered on this side and not on the other. That fuse is bad, and I'll show you that. Now I'm going to turn the lights off just to prove a point. Not lit up. Not lit up until I turn the light on. So nothing's flowing through here until the light is actually on. So keep in mind when you're doing this kind of stuff, the item you're checking might actually have to be on, like the lights or whatever component to your circuit you're trying to check. So we're going to pull the fuse out. See, it's blown. So obviously, in a real world scenario, something caused that. So something, the amperage went over that, whatever amperage, that 10 amps right there, and blew that fuse. And it could be an intermittent problem. I've seen technicians pull these out and been like, hey, it's just a fuse. It was a bad fuse, an old fuse. That really doesn't happen. So you can look at your contacts in there, make sure it doesn't look burnt. You know, if it's melted around the fuse area, that means it has excessive resistance. It had a bad contact at one point. I've seen that happen. The other thing is, if it is blowing like that, and it's intermittent, maybe they hit a bump or something like that, you could have a wiring harness shorting the ground, like rubbing up against something. You see it on taillight harnesses all the time on some of these cars. All right. One other thing I wanted to show you is you can't actually test a fuse with a multimeter. I know somebody's going to comment about that, so I figured I would go ahead and show that. I prefer the test light method because it's pretty quick. But if you can do ohms like that, and you can set it up to beep at you if you want. Oh, of course I'm in the way. But you can also set it to continuity or diode, and you get a beep to confirm. Here's the bad one we had earlier. You can see nothing. And here's one of these fuses I tried to show you earlier. We go across here. And here. It's an easy way to test too. So that's a fairly easy way to test them as well. I prefer to take them out of the box because I know there's videos out there showing people testing them in the box, and there's another way to do that, which I might get into later. But the fact of the matter is, you're not supposed to do an ohms check with a powered circuit. So I prefer to take them out if I'm using a multimeter. The other quick tidbit I wanted to tell you, you see me using a wiring diagram earlier. You've seen that I found the actual fuse. Do not go through and start testing all the different fuses, trying to find the fuse that's blown. People do that all the time. Find the fuse that you need, that's blown, that you think is blown for your circuit, because it might be gone. We've had cars come in here that way. I've seen other technicians spend an hour and a half diagnosing something that didn't even have a fuse in it. So first things first, this is why I had to do this fuse video. Check your fuse. Is it there? Is it blown? If not, move on. It's an easy thing to check. All right.